With the King of Swords energy, I feel like you got a lot stronger earlier on in life. It's almost like you learned to harden yourself because your own emotions or your own softness felt like it was betraying you. Your own emotions were betraying you. So you taught yourself really early on in life how to detach quickly, how to stay detached. And this is because of all the conflict that has been around you. You literally had to tame the conflict around you constantly, and you couldn't really show any emotions because they didn't feel safe in doing so. It's like you had to be the strongest person in the room or be the person that gets hurt the most. So it was almost like you trained your mind to become like your shield, like your mind shielded you in these conflicts. You had to become more logical than emotional because emotions betrayed you. You didn't feel safe in showing emotions because when you did show emotions, it was like almost like you had to fight for a place to fit in. So you couldn't even show your emotions because you then had to fight for a place to fit in. And then when you were detached and when you were colder, it's like you fit in more. When you were colder, someone stayed longer, or it went easier, or you trained the people around you not to mess with you. It's like you were protecting your own heart because you felt like no one else was doing it. No one else was protecting your heart. No one else was bothering to even understand you or understand how deep your emotions could run before you even understood your emotions yourself. So now you're classified as someone who's very strong, and you don't like hearing that. You don't like hearing that you're strong because for you that's not an honor. It's more like a burden that you had to carry for all these years. It's like you felt like you were breaking on the inside, but you couldn't let anyone see it. Even when you started trusting someone, even when you wanted to be open, even when you wanted to show your heart, you literally feel like you couldn't. You felt like you had to hold yourself together. You had to hold yourself together. And there were many times where you were in places with rooms, or in rooms and in places with people that really did not deserve your presence at all. So you stayed almost like hardened, like unbothered and strong, but at the same time you were like losing pieces of yourself in doing so. It's like you were always the misunderstood person, or the person that other people were competing with. You had friends or co-workers or people that you were getting close with, and you didn't want to compete. You just wanted to feel safe within these people, but then they competed with you, or they poked you, they pushed you around. And other times people drained you. So it literally started to feel like a whole battle within and outside of yourself. Like you were literally fighting to be heard, fighting to be seen. And there were moments where you literally felt like you wanted to just give up, just like run away to a little corner in the world, cut the whole freaking world off because nobody understood you. But you still chose yourself. with the Queen of Pentacles energy, you picked up the broken pieces and you started placing them back for yourself. It's like no one came to rescue you. And perhaps for a while you felt like someone was gonna come. Like you were almost like waiting for someone to come and rescue you. Not because you weren't strong, because obviously you are strong, but it's because you wanted there to be a knight in shining armor. You wanted there to be a silver lining to all of the pain and chaos that you have experienced in your life. You wanted, even if it was like an outside source, to love you so much that it came to save you or sent something to save you. But you realized that this was not happening. No one was coming to rescue you, so you did it yourself. You started to rebuild yourself, and you started to take care of your own worth, and you started to care for yourself. So you have been starting to create this safety for yourself with your own freaking two hands. You've been creating safety for yourself. I also feel like you became the person that you always needed. You became the person that showed up for yourself. And yes, you could still be misunderstood by other people, but you started understanding yourself. And that was I feel like that was like the biggest gift you could have given to yourself in the future, was starting to understand yourself. After so many years of numbing and shrinking just so you don't either outshine someone or someone pushes you, or you're in defensive mode because you can feel that someone is draining you again. It's like it nowhere felt safe enough for you to open up. You crawled within yourself, and that is where you remained. And even though you wanted to open up at times, you remembered how badly it hurt the last time that you tried opening up. And even through that, you continued to fight for your softness. Even though you were finally this hardened person that's really hard to hurt, really hard to insult, really hard to get down, even though you were that person, you kept fighting for your softness. You kept fighting for your heart to be opened, for your softness to return. Because you showed yourself, and you continue to show yourself in the past, that is not how your story is gonna go. You're not going to be this cold, hardened person. You're not going to be what life made you. You are going to be who you are. So you have been fighting for that softness, that openness to return to you, even if you have to fight the fight alone. Now, in the present moment, you are ending a chapter that already killed you. It took all of you to end this chapter. In the present moment, it is being brought back up. And it is showing you how much of you it took to close this chapter, to close that cycle. And even though you feel like you're laying in the wreckage of what once was, you knew that it stopped serving you and stopped being good for you a long time ago, way before you even allowed yourself to accept it. You're accepting it, or you started accepting it in the past. Then in the past, you tried to rebuild yourself after it. But a part of you still did not accept that that chapter had to end. A part of you was resilient, and a part of you still held on. You did not want that one chapter to be the one that has to end. Even though you feel like it killed you, and you feel like a part of you literally had to die with it. In the present moment, you have already accepted it. You have already accepted and even integrated the fact that that chapter had to end. This isn't a new wound. This is not something that just happened to you or that is happening to you right now. This is something that you're finally looking at and being like, okay, this is a wound of the past. And you're realizing that you cannot carry this anymore. It cannot be a part of your identity anymore. It cannot be a part of your story anymore. It cannot be a part of who you are anymore. The pain that it has created cannot be a part of your present moment anymore. And all of that pain and that big wound that you have carried for so long, it has to be released. It had to be released a long time ago because it broke a long time ago. So right now in the current moment, you're not breaking. You're not breaking. You broke a long time ago. You have already started working on mending yourself. You have already started putting yourself back together. This is now the releasing of that pain from your identity, separating the two. You're not even the person who survived that wound. Don't even make that your identity. Not the wound or the survival of it. Let that thing be in the past. It does not belong in your present or in your future. But this is also the moment where you stop pretending that everything is fine, that it is okay. This is a moment where you start to realize that it is not fine, it is not okay, because you're still carrying the aftermath of a wound that you have spent so long on healing, and it's time to release it. Not heal it, it is healed. Release it. Not let that person go, you've already let them go. Not put yourself back together, you've already put yourself back together. Releasing it from your identity, not making it a part of your story anymore. Because you're reaching a point in the present moment where the past can no longer survive within your bubble. It's like you're done. You're literally done in a way words cannot explain. And this is the surrender. You quite literally are reaching this point of surrender that is setting you free. This is what your body has been working up towards in the present moment. So you could randomly cry. You could randomly feel sad. You could randomly be like, nothing is wrong, but you're crying. That is your body finally releasing it. You're not holding on to it anymore. Because you know now in the present moment as well that there is more out there for you than what hurt you. There is more to you than that wound. That one wound does not define who you are. It does not get to claim you as an identity. It does not get to be the story that you tell for the next couple years. It does not get to go with you. You know in this present moment right now that even though you're hurting and even though you don't know what the future has for you, you know that you can't go back. And you know that you won't go back. Even if you miss it, even if you long for it, even if you're scared to take the next step forward, even if sometimes you feel like you're literally jumping out of an airplane without a parachute, even when you don't feel ready, you know you can't go back. You know that the only way is moving forward and going in a new direction. Keep going in the same direction that you've been turning to. But the point is, you've turned away from the past, but you haven't taken any long strides yet. It's like you've turned your back on it and you've started slowly walking. But this new version of you and the new world, the world beyond this wound that has absolutely no space for this wound to even exist in, wants you to move forward toward it. You're literally in a place right now where you know that you're choosing your stability. You're choosing your self-respect over what once stole your peace. You're choosing your self-respect over that which stole time from you, which made you freeze. You are grounding again in your own confidence instead of bracing for impact. And it might feel foreign and strange as your body is adjusting to this new sense of stability that you are providing it. And no one came to rescue you. In the end, it was always you. It was you who did this. It is you who got you to this point. There could have been helpers on the way, like on the road to where you are right now, but it is you that is releasing you from this wound. You know in this moment, more than anything, that you deserve better. And the only way that you are going to get better is if you create better for yourself. So now you're actually starting to gravitate towards people who can truly grow with you. You're starting to gravitate towards people that actually want to help you carry, so that you don't have to carry everything alone anymore. This is real support, like real teamwork, real alliance, real people who care for you. That is what your body is gravitating towards right now. And that is the biggest sign that you are not dusting off a seat for someone that don't even want to sit there. You're letting the person who has earned a seat next to you, who wants it, who craves it, to sit there. And not someone who you have to beg to sit there. You're not looking for anything that is incomplete anymore, where you have to bend backwards to try and complete it. You are gravitating and pulling in connections that the other person is already completed within themselves. They're not trying to drain you, not trying to compete with you, not trying to pull you down. And you're also finally choosing the ones that are showing up for you over a fantasy, over what could be and what should be in a perfectly crafted world. And you're also finally, in the present moment, that softness is returning to you. That moment where you wanted in the past, that you were fighting for your softness, that is returning to you. You're slowly going to start feeling that joy again, that joy that has that wound not attached to it in the back of your mind. It's like your spirit is coming back alive. You're reconnecting to yourself where that wound once connected itself to. Life is like returning back to you. And you're also realizing the biggest thing in the present moment is you're realizing that you don't have to be strong all the time. You don't have to be strong all the time. And there are actually people that are around you that don't expect you to be strong all the time. These are people who you can break down in front of. These are people who, if you are tired, you're tired. And if you feel weak that day, you feel weak that day. And if you want to cry that day, you cry that day. And these are people that still stay. So in the present moment, you are literally releasing the final attachments of that old wound, so that you're stepping into your future. And the future that you are walking into right now starts with the Queen of Wands. You are literally becoming the version of yourself that you have been deadly afraid of since you were a child. You have been so afraid of becoming this magnetic and this seen and have this much authority over yourself, over the spaces that you enter, the people that are around you, having this much say in your own life. You feared becoming this because you were programmed to fear the best version of you. You were programmed to fear your power, but you never stopped fighting. You fought for your softness. You fought to love again, to soften after the world hardened you. But what is happening in your future is this power, this unstoppable force that is you. That is your softness. You thought it would be you being able to open up your heart again, which yes, you're going to open up your heart, but you're turning into a version of yourself that you feared. I'm talking like for example, if you kept sabotaging love, you're entering a version of yourself that is so open to love that you are in a relationship for the rest of your life. If you were afraid of success, that you're stepping into the version of yourself that is so not afraid of success, that steps into it and builds empires. If you were afraid of the final embodiment of you, and you kept sabotaging perhaps your weight or your future, that stops. You're finally becoming that version. I feel like you're only meeting this powerful version of yourself because you were lonely your whole fucking life. Even when you were with people, they still made you feel lonely. It's like you carried everything, and no one knew what you were carrying. And even if they knew what you were carrying, it's not like they were present. It's not like they were genuinely there to try and lighten the load, because you just seemed strong enough to carry it by yourself. So how were you strong enough to carry everything that you were carrying, plus picking up the slack that others were not carrying, plus being there for others when they couldn't carry their own load themselves? How? When people could not do that for you, you felt lonely. You literally felt like you had to walk through this life alone. And this glow up is happening, and it can only happen this freaking powerfully when a person dealt with so many people, situations, and circumstances that did not serve them. You are quite literally releasing people that made you feel like an outsider in your own freaking life, in your own world, in your own identity, and in your own damn house. Let that sink in for a second. You finally are releasing people who made you feel like an outsider to your own identity. You are walking away from places that did not choose you, where you felt like you were overlooked and unchosen and taken for freaking granted. And once you step away from those places, you are opening yourself up to create space for your own flame, for your own fire. Now think about this. How much freaking space did that flame need? That is you, that spark, that fire. If you dealt with these situations and places abundantly your whole entire life, and now you're finally releasing all of that, you're so far out of the mentality that would ever accept any of those behaviors, you are never begging for a seat at any table ever again. Ever. And you know that. You know that if there's one thing you know you're never begging for a seat again. You're never walking into a room where you are not chosen ever again. You are never remaining seated at a table that's taking you for granted ever again. You know that. So can you imagine that amount of space that just cleared, and how big that flame must be to fill up that space? And that flame being your power. You are literally thriving because you're not shrinking anymore, so that people can see you. When their vision is so freaking impaired that they cannot see what's bigger than their perception. You had to shrink yourself into those spaces. And now that you're finally not doing that anymore, now that you're finally like, thank God those people cannot see you. Thank God that you are protected from those eyes. When you change that perspective, now, the Six of Cups is also here. So there is something that you really wanted in the past that is meeting you now, because you're not fragile. You're not fragile or desperate. So it's meeting you now. And this time you will never let the past break you ever again. Even this present moments that you're dealing with right now, which will become your past in the future, it will not break you. No moment in the present will ever break you again, because you were there. Whew, this is your reading. I hope that you enjoyed this. Bye.